Hello, this is News Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studios in Lagos. Coming up, political leaders across the country call for total decentralization of the nation's security apparatus. Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho reportedly diagnosed with possible kidney or lungs illness. The governor of Imo State, Hope UZODINMA, urges military to sheathe its sword following an alleged invasion of Izombe community. Germany's Economic Institute slashes 2021 growth forecast for Europe's largest economy to 2.4%. Supply bottlenecks slow the recovery. Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us. I'm Michael NATH. Now, political leaders across the country have called for the total decentralization of the nation's security apparatus and have also resolved to adopt the mechanism of state police. They said until this is put in place, Nigeria may not overcome its security challenges in due time. Governor of Ekiti State, FAYEMI, and Nigeria's former Senate President Adolphus WABARA made this call while speaking at a public lecture in Ibadan. In his address, Governor FAYEMI noted that one of the major causes of the incessant security challenges was the lack of provision of social amenities to the citizenry as well as vulnerable groups. Inspector General of Police Usman Baba on Wednesday in Abuja charged squadron leaders of the Nigeria Police to remain apolitical at the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State. Addressing a meeting with commanders of the Police Mobile Force, the Special Protection Unit, and the Counter-Terrorism Unit, Baba said the election security plan will revolve around the PMF. He explained that the implication was that the task of securing the democratic values to guarantee a safe and credible electoral process in Anambra would rest on some of the squadron commanders. He urged the squadron leaders to demonstrate a high level of professionalism, strong supervisory capacity, and firmness and courage, which were the traditional hallmarks of the PMF. The Nigerian Army on Wednesday urged members of the public to disregard media reports that it was constructing a RUGA settlement in the southeast. It said the 82 Division Nigerian Army has noted with utmost concern a baseless allegation aired through an outlawed online radio that the division of the Nigerian Army is currently constructing a RUGA settlement in Igboho Ekiti community of Udi local government area of Enugu State. In a statement by Major Abubakar Abdullahi, Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, it warned members of the public to disregard such untrue and false information emanating from some quarters. According to him, the Nigerian Army remains a credible institution that unites the country and has no place for ethno-religious sentiments. He said the Army will continue to carry out its constitutional tasks objectively across the country and remain totally apolitical. The Kaduna state government revealed its proposals for 233 billion naira budget for 2022, targeting value-added taxes of 24.9 billion naira and an internally generated revenue of 67.26 billion naira. This was disclosed by Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State while presenting the 2022 draft budget to the State House of Assembly on Tuesday. The governor added that the budget will have a capital expenditure of 146 billion and a recurrent spending of 87.6 billion. Now, the KANO state governor has sent a proposal for 33.9 billion naira 2021 supplementary budget to the State House of Assembly for approval. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje's proposal was read during the plenary session on Tuesday by Kano State House of Assembly. The Speaker, Alhaji Hamisu Chidari, said this. The governor's proposal reveals that he plans on spending 9.2 billion naira overhead costs, while the sum of 21.5 billion naira would be for capital expenditure. Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho has been reportedly diagnosed with possible kidney or lung illness. One of his lawyers, Yomi Aliyu, made this known in an interview with BBC Yoruba, noting that the rights activists developed the illness in Benin Republic prison custody. According to him, the agitator has also been critically ill and rushed to the hospital for treatment. Igboho is currently in a detention facility in Benin Republic. The lawyer raised an alarm that Igboho needed urgent medical attention, saying Igboho was not diagnosed with the sickness before he was arrested in Cotonou. It was so critical that they had to rush him to the hospital. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission says it will be ready to present a new revenue sharing formula to the President, General Muhammadu Buhari, for onward transmission to the National Assembly by December. It said the ongoing consultation and sensitization across the country were aimed at avoiding past pitfalls that made past attempts to review the formula unsuccessful. Confirming the readiness of the Commission to present the new revenue formula, RMAFC Chairman Elias Mbam, in a telephone interview, blamed logistics for the failure of the Commission to fulfill similar promises in the past. Revenue sharing formula, which has remained a controversial subject in Nigeria even before independence in 1960, refers to the proportion of resources accruing to the Federation that goes to each of the components of the nation. The current revenue formula was designed during the tenure of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Until this formula, the federal government gets 52.68%. The 36 states share 26.72%, while the 774 local government areas in the country share 20.60% every month. Now, the governor of Imo State, Hope UZODINMA, has urged the military to sheath its sword following an alleged invasion of Izumbe community, Oguta local government area of the state, by soldiers. This is as they expressed sadness at the loss of lives and properties suffered by the community. Indigents of the community allege that some soldiers on reprisal on Friday destroyed properties worth not less than 1 billion naira. The distressed indigents who spoke to our correspondent during a visit to the community said the soldiers burnt no fewer than 80 houses, many cars and economic trees. UZODINMA, who shared photos from his visit to the community on Facebook, blamed the outcome on the recklessness of bandits who instead have chosen to foment mayhem without recourse to morality. Now, the federal government, in partnership with civil society organization, has developed an alternative report on the implementation of the Convention Against Torture in Nigeria to avoid being reviewed in absentia after 21 years of ratification. The acting executive director, Clean Foundation, Ruth Olofin, while addressing newsmen in the Abuja, says Nigeria failed to submit her status on torture for over 2 decades. Ruth therefore added that the report will be submitted to the 72nd session of the Convention Against Torture in November 2021.
We are supposed, as a country, haven't done that, to be presenting periodic reports of the state of torture in the country and how we are addressing it as a nation. But this is 20 years down the line. Like I said, the country has not submitted a report to the Convention Against Torture. Nigeria will be reviewed at the 72nd session in November of the convention in Geneva.
We want these laws to be enforced, to be implemented. You don't just have laws and you don't implement it. And then once somebody is caught or found guilty of doing this, then let the person be fully prosecuted and sanctioned. And it has to be done speedily. We want to say no to impunity, because that's how it continues. If somebody is tortured and nothing happens, then there's a problem.
The federal government, through the Directorate of Technical Aids Corps, is looking for 74 medical specialists who will be sent to Guinea-Bissau. This was disclosed in a notice by the Registrar, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, Dr. Tajuddin Sanusi, on Tuesday. Notice was titled Notice to Registered Practitioners of Urgent Recruitment of Specialists. In April, The government had developed 33 volunteers to Uganda and another 33 to Tanzania in response to humanitarian needs. The Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization has urged Nigerians to promote public interest in understanding and appreciation of Black and African arts and culture, with a view to emphasizing the contributions of Black and African peoples to world civilization. Olubunmi Amora, Director General at the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, made this call during the cultural festival held in Ibadan with the presence of notable personalities.
Yeah, Africa is the future of the world, and Nigeria is the future of Africa. And until we celebrate what is great about us, the world will not take us serious. Our language is critical. Each time you see a Chinese president meets with an American president, he will speak his language and it will be interpreted for him in English to the American president, celebrating his own heritage.
The way God created the African, the black, we have soul, we are musical people, we know how to dance, we just have the rhythm. So it's always been there. It's just that by the time the colonial masters came, everything Africa is now bad. So we grew up with that inferiority complex.
The National Assembly on Wednesday passed a bill to upgrade Adeyemi College of Education to a full-fledged university. The development followed the concurrence of the Senate to the House of Representatives bill, which was earlier passed at the Green Chamber. The institution will now be known as Adeyemi Federal University of Education, Ondo, after the Senate passed the bill for third reading. The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, said the bill has repealed the act that established Adeyemi College of Education and reenacted the new one for the establishment of the Adeyemi Federal College of Education. African news now. Morocco's central bank left its benchmark interest rate at an all-time low of 1.5%, amid concern over a surge in inflation in its key European trading partners. The decision, announced Wednesday in a statement, was expected to be the central bank's fifth consecutive hold after it undertook an easy cycle between March and June 2020. The National Treasury is considering major budget cuts in the next budget to tame Kenya's ballooning debt. A post-COVID economic recovery is also a key aspect in the budget planning process that started yesterday with collection of views from the public. The budget will also have to address President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda that spills over to the next financial year. The 2022-23 budget is estimated at 3.21 trillion shillings, but could be adjusted upwards or downwards. Speaking at the opening of the public hearing of the financial year 2020-23 and the medium target budget proposals, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Oko Yetani said the government is cognizant of the public's concerns about the high debt. Foreign news now. Vulnerable children and elderly people in North Korea are at risk of starvation, a UN expert has said. The UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the country blamed international sanctions and a COVID blockade for worsening food shortages there. As a result, North Koreans are struggling daily to live a life of dignity, Thomas Ojie Quintani said. He called for the sanctions imposed over North Korea's nuclear programs to be lifted to prevent a crisis. North Korea is thought to be in dire economic straits. It closed its borders to contain the spread of COVID-19. Trade with China has plummeted as a result. Now, North Korea relies on China for food, fertilizer, and fuel. Now, Germany's economic institutes are slashing their 2021 growth forecast for Europe's largest economy to 2.4% from 3.7% as supply bottlenecks slow the recovery. Two people familiar with the decision told Reuters on Wednesday. The four institutes, the RWI in Essen, the DIW in Berlin, the IFO in Munich, and Halles in IWH are expected to release their joint forecast on Thursday. They will also raise their forecast for growth next year to 4.8% from 3.9% and will project 1.9% economic growth for 2023, the two people said. On Tuesday, the International Monetary Fund cut its 2021 growth forecast for Germany by half a percentage point from its July prediction to 3.1%. Germany GDP slumped by 4.6% last year due to the coronavirus pandemic.